Welcome to my American Adventure series, Los Angeles. This is the Travel Man Podcast. If you're joining me for the first time, my name is Ben, and hello. Thank you for joining me, and I am an experienced traveller who's been travelling the world since he was a little kid. Thanks to my dear old mum, who worked tirelessly at various airlines and always made sure her sons could travel the world. I'm happy you could join me today, as this podcast will be focusing on my adventures with Mandy, my wife, who I travelled with throughout America when we were there in spring this year. So, enjoy. America was awesome. We had an amazing time and I recorded various moments of our holiday for you to listen to. You'll hear that the audio will sound different depending on where we were, and I hope that's not too distracting. I recorded it with the intention that I wanted you to experience the open environments and feel that you were immersed in our adventure also. So enjoy part 1 of my American Adventure series, Los Angeles. Just before I go, I was going to say that both of us saw Phil Rosenthal from Somebody Feed Phil. He was just walking around. Who knows what he was trying to do? I think he was trying to find someone to eat or drink. But he was at the Old Farmers Market, and he frequents the Old Farmers Market quite often. So maybe you should get down there if you're in LA. And I just wish I could have had him on the podcast, but there probably would have been no time. He probably wouldn't have done it, so I would have probably felt a bit silly. But there's always next time, and he might be someone that I can get on the podcast eventually. And just want to make one little last note that I want to say rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain, who was a legend of mine and someone I looked up to. He's gone way too early, and it was really upsetting when I heard the news come through that he had passed away or committed suicide in Paris. So rest in peace, Anthony. You're an amazing, interesting man. Hello, travellers. Welcome to my little, what would I call it, Mandy? What would I call this little thing that I call love? This little thing. So, unfortunately, I'm in Venice. No. This is day 1 of our America trip. Mandy and I arrived here this morning around 6 a.m. from Melbourne. It was a great flight. Now we're just sitting here in a quintessential location called Venice Beach. We had some delicious egg slut this morning for brekkie. We had a bacon and egg burger, and we're actually quite close to the airport too. I love Venice Beach because there's a lot of crazies about, and I just feel I add to it because I'm one of the crazies as well. I remember last time I was here, there was a man walking on broken glass, and he did say it was his last time, but I bet you I'll find him today. Hey, Mando. Mm-hmm. What do you think of this beach area, Mandy? Isn't it beautiful? It's gorgeous, isn't it? Just sitting here, relaxing, looking at men spray paint. It looks like they're spray painting a skull onto the wall of some... Yeah, it looks like a skull. But it's just so quintessential Venice Beach. I really find this area quite relaxing, and I love looking at the cyclists ride by. Well, I'm looking at the beach, and to my right I can see the skate ramp, and behind me is a truck moving past. Obviously workmen that are going to be doing work in Venice Beach later on today. They're just cleaning it up. It's actually very tidy at the moment, Venice. There's just a little bit of air or breeze So I'm recording on my H4n Pro recorder. Hopefully it sounds good because I'm trying to capture the feel of Venice, the sounds, the excitement. I'm really excited for today. I'll be going to Santa Monica Beach. I'll be going to a little bookshop down the way. And you know what? There'll be more of this in the future, and I'll compile it all. I haven't seen many crazies this morning. Wonder where they're all gone to.
It's too early.
It's too early for the crazies. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. But there's a lot of joggers around and cyclists. Nice to hear the background noise actually of people walking around and doing what they need to do. Everyone's got the day off today. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people in shorts and t-shirts. It is going to be 26 degrees today. It's going to be beautiful. It was 16 degrees when we landed in LA today, so it's gorgeous. It's quintessentially gorgeous.
Makes no sense.
I love this area
Why?
because it's just nice.
Why?
Look, you can see the green grass, the sand, the sea, people jogging, running. Oh, that guy's got his top off. What a cutie. If you realised I was sounding very mad, very strange indeed. Mandy at the time was not very happy with me as I was a bit of a naughty boy, and we didn't actually end up going to Santa Monica Pier, but we just hung around Venice Beach for a little bit because we were waiting for our Airbnb to check in there. We did go to Egg Slut, which was tasty, and I've mentioned that on a previous podcast. I went into this great little bookshop, which I enjoyed. I bought some books from there, and sometimes I'm a bit of a silly boy, but enjoy the rest of the podcast. That was day one, and there's plenty more little audio clips from me. Now, the little piece of audio that's coming up now was recorded in a very loud environment, so there is a lot of background noise, which I'm a little bit sorry for. I should have put my dead cat over the mic. A dead cat is what you call the little fluffy hairy thing that you put over a microphone so you dull the sound and it's not as sensitive, if anyone's wondering. Now, this audio was taken at the original Farmers Market, which is a brilliant place to go. It's where we saw Mr. Phil Rosenthal, and there's plenty of places to eat and drink, so if you are in LA, definitely get there. It is fantastic, and I will roll the audio clip now. So we're at the famous Farmers Market in LA, and we just walked past Phil Rosenthal, and he wasn't filming.
No, it's just coming to eat like we were.
Yep, and today we thought we wanted something to eat, so we just came here straight away from Venice Beach. And we went to Maggie's. I think it's called Maggie's. It's one of the stalls inside, but I chose to get a Reuben sandwich.
Yeah.
And they made the pastrami beef right in front of me. Sliced it. The guy sliced it right in front of me. And you had a turkey kebab.
Yeah, it was really good. And again, sliced breast.
It's all sliced fresh here.
I mean, it's not the cheapest sandwich.
No, $13.95 each.
Yeah.
So when you translate that into Australian dollars, it's nearly $20 sandwich.
Yeah, it's quite expensive.
But probably a bit cheaper than Cats in New York.
Yeah.
But we haven't tried that yet. We'll try that when we're in New York. This used to be some cattle station or something, cow station.
Was it?
Yeah, I was reading up about it, and then that got sold off and became some oil yard or something.
Okay.
And now it's just a bunch of food shops and food stalls. You can eat lots of fresh food.
I think people sell food here too.
Yeah, you said there was a butchery next door to where we are. and I'm looking at a place called Crab Louie, and they sell Eastern deep fried clams, clam chowder, fried shrimp, fried oysters, fried tacos, iced tea, fish and chips. Actually, talking about iced tea, I need a latte.
Yeah.
And if they can do soy lattes, that would be fantastic.
I think we'll look around for coffee.
Yeah. There's another place called Moishi's. Sounds actually quite New Yorker the way I said that. Moishi's. And we've got Bob's Donuts behind us. So I'll have to try more from around here, but this is day 2 of our America trip. And I'm quite happy with that sandwich, so we'll also be trying to go to see what's that house called, Mandy? You're good with names.
The Hollyhock House.
But it's not open today, is it?
No, we have to come back on Thursday.
Alright, so we'll see the Hollyhock House on Thursday, and we'll see a bit more today. We'll cruise around this market, see what else we can find. Like I said, I really need that coffee. And I'll see if I can bump into Phil Rosenthal. So I did see him walk past again, and he was walking very fast.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jason from the Friday the 13th films. So yeah, it's so cool. The atmosphere here is awesome. People are everywhere. Eating, mostly, and on their phones. And chatting. Actually, there's a lot more interaction here than there is in Melbourne. If it was Melbourne, everyone would be on their phones.
I think also people come here for like lunch during their work breaks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
And there's tourists as well.
Oh, there's a bunch of tourists.
So it's great to see that it's locals and
Yeah, that's true. And it's great to see such variety of food as well in this market. Because really, you could find anything here, from probably Asian food to the American food. Yeah, we did. To donuts.
to pizza and pasta.
And ice cream.
Yeah.
But stop there for now, and hope you enjoyed this little snippet. And I'll bring you more later on.
As we keep going.
Or as we keep going around. So I'm checking out. Bye. We loved the original farmers market, and I was so happy to get there. We didn't end up seeing the Hollyhock House, which would have been really cool. But, you know, what can you do when you're enjoying just walking around these old stables and barnyards and enjoying, you know, the ambience of these little cafes and little restaurants. We even sat down, watched them NBA, and I drank some beers at a little bar I think it was in the center of the actual market. And that was a lot of fun. Just to be able to watch live NBA, that's something that I don't have the ability to do when I'm in Melbourne. Coming up, I have some audio that was taken at the bottom of the garden at the Getty Centre. So enjoy that, and enjoy listening to me talk about Topiary Gardens and get all muddled up in the meantime. Enjoy. Hello again, people. What you can hear now is the fountain at the bottom of this topiary-sized or topiary-made garden bed that sits in a pool of water. And it's really beautiful. I'll have photos up. This is day 3 and we're at the Getty Centre. I think this is the most beautifulest, interesting garden and an area to view artwork I've ever been to, as everything is free and it's in the foothills of LA, so you really should make an effort to come down here and enjoy what they've got on offer. This garden is phenomenal. I never thought that Americans could design something so beautiful. This is as good as anything you would see in Italy, as in the style of trimming and so forth. Hey, Mandy.
Yep.
Loving it.
Beautiful. Very peaceful.
Very peaceful. Really, really, really well designed. Okay. I think that's about it. Great. If you're someone that really likes artwork and loves really, really well designed gardens, then the Getty Center is the place for you. So the audio I took yesterday was us pretty much standing around the back end of the garden, which has this inner topiary trimmed garden that is inside a pond with a waterfall that flows from the top. So it's quite beautiful. So if you're at the Getty Center, then try and do as much as you can of the actual artwork and what would you call the other stuff? Like artwork. It's got sculptures. That's the word I was thinking of. But you have to make sure that when you're doing all that stuff that you don't miss out on the garden, because that's truly an amazing thing, and just the sights in general from the building,
which is
superb,
amazingly designed building, and it's been there since '97, and it's nestled up in a hilltop above a freeway, but I mean it's in the Santa Monica Mountains.
Yeah.
And the views you get from certain places, and the way the buildings are designed, you keep kind of climbing up.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so you end up getting even better views as you keep going.
Yeah, well, it's in a massive site. It's like 24 acres, so it's huge.
And the best thing about it is you get to see Renoirs and Monets and Van Goghs and Manets and Pizarros and Turners. There was a Turner in there that I saw.
There was. That was a boat picture.
And all of them you get to see for nothing. All free.
So everything is free. Absolutely everything.
I think we were there for about 4.5 hours, and I think it was a great amount of time. We didn't miss out on anything. We were happy with the time that we spent there. But it was so worth it, and I'm glad that we got to go because last time we didn't. So that's great. Yeah.
So we did. I think it was Building West Building, which had a lot of the famous artists' works. So you're looking at.
I think it was European painting in there.
European artists,
and there was also the exhibition for the Egyptian exhibition. Was it in there?
No, that was upstairs at another.
Pavilion.
In another pavilion. I forget the one exactly, but that is only on for a limited time at the moment. That's it's like a museum piece on the It was
artifacts from the Egyptians in Greece and in Italy, so it was really interesting. I'd never made the connection before, sort of.
Huge connections.
Yeah.
Between them. The Greeks that were on Crete,
yeah,
and the Egyptians,
and also the Italians, in Pompeii and those sorts of places. So that was good. And then there was a really cool exhibition about the Indian art form, and I've forgotten the name of a Mogul, and
Mogul.
I don't know. It's probably butchered,
something like that.
But then Rembrandt. Painting in that style, and they had them some amazing artworks, beautiful colours and very vibrant, and that was interesting. Again, two things that we were further educated on.
Yeah, those pictures, I think they were drawn with they nearly looked like they were drawn with pencil, but he must have used the finest brushes in the world. Because the intricacy of these pieces of art was mind blowing. I was there for quite a while, just taking in all the different colours.
Yeah,
and it's amazing how they found all the colours.
Yeah,
back then there was like red ochres, and there was other beetles that they had to crush up to get the blue colour and so forth. Because you got to think about it, this is back in the 1500s, 1600s, so they didn't have access to all the colours that some of the more recent artists like Van Gogh would have had.
Sure. More natural.
Or more natural colours. So these guys had to use what they had. So that was great. I really love that.
So, I mean, amazing. We're in downtown, which we love. I mean, we spent the last 3 days in Venice, but there's something about downtown where you get, I think, a real sense of what LA is all about. We were talking to some, no one's ever really a native here, but we were talking to a couple of people and we both agreed that downtown had a good vibrancy, and it's where things happen.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't always been the case, but I mean, coming back 9 months later, it is definitely the soul of the city.
It is. There's many options for eating and drinking. Like Grand Central Market, it's just unbelievable the variety of food that you can eat there.
And good quality.
And really good quality, from like burgers to Thai food to oysters to breakfast food at Egg Slot.
Great coffee.
Great coffee at the place at the other
beers.
end. Yep, craft beer.
Yep.
Pizzas, Mexican food, wine. I mean, options are endless there.
So and we've had two
it's a pretty good price.
Yeah, we had 2 meals there today. So
yeah, we had lunch there.
So we had
had a Reuben sandwich, which are my favourite.
And I had a bagel with smoked salmon, cream cheese. Both very traditional Jewish deli staples, particularly on the East Coast in New York.
And if you want that, it's at Wexler's.
So Wexler's Deli, and then we went to a place called Sticky Rice for dinner. And I had a green curry, like I said before, with shrimp, and you had grilled chicken.
Grilled chicken with papaya salad and sticky rice, which I hadn't eaten much before, and I really like sticky rice.
Yeah.
I've realised.
We had cold brew as well today. We had
a cold brew.
And we'll be back. We've just basically planned our whole meal through Grand Central, and I mean, it's a cheaper option than going dining out, because you even don't have to tip either. It's one of the places you actually don't have to tip.
Although it does come up when you pay by card.
You can say no thanks.
And I said no a couple of times because I just didn't think the service was there.
Yeah, so...
and no one cares either. No one looks at you differently. No. They understand. I need to say something. Mandy did the most cutest thing just then. We were lying on the bed, but she has a problem whenever she's doing podcasting, is that she just starts yawning. Look, I didn't realise I was that boring, but anyway, she did start yawning, and she tried to stop this yawn, and all it was
Sorry.
It's like, oh God, here she goes again.
Sorry guys, I don't know what it is. It must be the sound of my own voice.
You must put yourself to sleep.
Anyway,
we went shopping.
All good museums,
back on the museum
shops, amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Museum shops are amazing. I bought like 4 pairs of earrings. Ben bought a watch. So cheap.
Bought some books.
They're just worth going to for the museum, for the shops. I love them.
Yeah, whenever we do go to a museum like LACMA or MoMA or whatever, we tend to always buy the museum book if we can. Because it's something that I like to bring home, something that I like to occasionally look at. Occasionally, I say occasionally, because it is occasionally. Look at and have on the coffee table, and usually that's really cool. So we do that, and all good.
So tomorrow we'll fill you in.
Tomorrow's going to be a really good day.
It's more museums, so we're looking forward to it.
So we're going to the Broad, which is next door to where we're staying, and we'll be going to the Contemporary Art Gallery.
Mocha. Museum of Contemporary Art.
Yeah, so that's just over the road, believe it or not. So everything's close.
We're extremely cultured.
And I want to probably do some more stuff tomorrow. And do you miss Venice, Mandy?
No, I love DT.
Oh, we had a really good meal last night in Venice. So that was on day 3. Last night we went to a vegan restaurant called Plantain Food.
Yep.
I think it's called Plantain Food.
Yep.
Mandy, check it up quickly.
I think so. I think it's
it's Plantain Food. It will be in the description once this is all compiled into one little podcast, which I hope people listen to, because I have tried to record some stuff while I was kind of live.
Yep. It's better when we.
Yesterday the day that we went to the farmers market, or not the farmers market. So I'm trying to think what else we did yesterday.
It's just Getty Museum.
It was just a Getty Museum. And the day before that, I think we had mentioned that we went to the farmers market.
Yep.
So I'll double check that in the notes anyway. But I was thinking of bringing this recorder everywhere I went, but I just thought, no, it's probably better I do the activity and then I teach or talk about it later on when I can. So even if Mandy and I do a couple of days worth of travelling, and then I'll just compile it into a little 10, 15, 20 minute little podcast, and then I'll put everything together. It'll be fun. It'll be good. So it was plant food and wine.
Plant food and wine.
And we had a really delicious meal. I had a gnocchi with mushrooms. And that was on, I call it Sleater Kinney because that's a band I like, but it's Abbot Kinney Boulevard in Venice. So if you've got time, go there. It is expensive, but it's bloody delicious.
Really delicious.
And probably that's about it for now, and I'll be in touch pretty soon. Well, you'll probably hear the next part straight away, but anyway, for me it'll be a couple of days. Ta-ta! So maybe you thought I didn't know what I was talking about. Actually, I did, but I didn't. The garden that I said that was topiary is actually an azalea maze, and it was planted inside that circular garden. If you look it up on the internet, it's a circular garden with a circular maze. It's quite beautiful. And in and amongst it is water, because it's like a waterfall and a water garden. But it was designed by this man called Robert Irwin. And I don't mean Bob Irwin either. He was an American installation artist who apparently explored perception and conditional art and so forth, but he also did landscape designs like the Central Garden at the Getty Center. So it is a gorgeous, gorgeous garden, and it was one of my highlights, as well as, just looking at the different exhibitions in the museum and so forth. But the Getty Center is a fantastic place to go if you're in LA. Fantastic. I loved it. Loved everything about it. This is technically day 7 of our America trip, and we're in San Diego at the moment.
Why is it? Oh, yeah, it's Sunday, isn't it?
It's Sunday.
No, it's not.
No, it's Saturday.
So it's day 6 then?
No, day 7. Because Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Day 7.
Yep.
And we haven't recorded since day 5.
Okay.
So people want to know what we did day 6. We were in LA.
But a day of culture.
A day of culture in downtown LA.
Yep.
And we went to the Broad Museum, or Broad Gallery. Well,
I think it's a museum.
yeah, it could be a museum. But the Broad's fantastic. Has some nice artwork.
Yep.
What would you call the art style of the Broad? It's a not contemporary.
No, it had a good collection of various
Pop art
things.
and stuff.
Pop art. And
Liechtensteins to Andy Warhols.
there's some Rothkos.
They have some good stuff
some
there.
big installations.
Oversized table and chairs, which I touched.
And
I got told not to touch them.
And
I just felt like moving the chair to see if it moved out.
and did it?
No.
No, because it's 5 times the size of you.
But there's some great photos, which I'll put online as well.
Yep.
Fantastic pictures.
We got to see the Infinity Mirrored Room.
Oh, the Infinity Mirrored Room
That
was
was
pretty
really
cool. You're only in there for about 30 seconds, though, or a minute.
But it's enough.
No, it's enough, because you could probably go insane if you're locked in there.
Probably.
Oh, absolutely. You'd go insane. It's this glassed room with little balls that hang from the ceilings,
Yeah.
different coloured, and
It's a mirrored room.
a lot of lights.
Yeah. And the little lights reflect in all the mirrors around the room.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool installation.
So the idea is that because of the mirrors and the lights, that you get a sense of stars around you, like you're in space, and it goes on forever.
Yeah. I didn't feel like I was in space. I just felt like I was in some weird disco room
Okay.
from the 70s.
So that was really good, but you have to make sure that you get tickets beforehand.
Yep.
They come out at the beginning of every month for the month in advance.
For the Broad.
For the Broad. And so what you need to do is just make sure, because it's for free, so it's no biggie. You just got to make sure you go online and get them.
Exactly. Just give yourself a month or more and make sure you pre-book. And then we went over the road to Mocha.
Museum of Contemporary Art.
And that was in your face.
Yep, definitely.
It was all right. I didn't enjoy it that much. I thought, it is what it is. It's artwork that will, I guess, stimulate your senses slightly and make you think about. Probably not a place I'd go with families. I would go if you're an adult, because there are some quite explicit stuff inside there, which I didn't really like, but I did laugh at, which is funny. So that wasn't great, but we also went to our favourite eating place, probably in America or the world, Grand Central Market.
Yep.
And we had eaten some great food at Grand Central Market previously and this time. But I remember at night we went to it's like a seafood place where I had some type of Maine lobster inside a roll.
You had a Maine lobster roll.
Maine lobster, a Maine lobster roll. There you go. It was really delicious, and Mandy had
Seattle seafood
cham chowder.
No, Seattle seafood soup or stew.
And then I met this nice fellow who will go by the name of Joel.
Because that's his name.
And because that was his name, yes. And he's a theatre reviewer, a theatre critic.
Yep.
So reviews shows, I guess, on Broadway and just in general. I think he goes around America, doesn't he?
Travels.
He travels around to see these shows and then critiques them. But yeah, we became friendly towards one another, so I did open up to him, would you ever like to come on my podcast? It'd be great, because he's been ticking off all the states that he's been travelling to in America. And he's done everything but Hawaii, which he'll be doing next week, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
Mandy, do you remember what we had for lunch on day 6? Was that was something at Grand Central again, wasn't it? Because in the morning, do you remember what we had? Egg slut.
Did we?
I think it was egg slut that morning, or was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I don't know. Did we have lunch?
I'm pretty sure we did. But you know what? I can't remember what we had for lunch, so maybe I'll leave it there. But day 6 was very interesting. And
we hung out with Chris.
Oh, so that was
From
day
Yellow
5. That
Productions.
was. And today's day 7. Maybe I was talking about day 6. Must be day 5. Sorry, guys. If I mentioned day 6. That was day 5 when we were at LA still, and we were looking at the artwork at the Broad and Mocha. So day 6, we got up fairly early, I guess. Not that early, but fairly early. And we had a train trip to Irvine, California.
Orange County.
Or Orange County, to meet up with Chris. So we got up early, took the train, which first of all our Uber driver had trouble finding us because of the strange streets in downtown LA, all the one-way streets and so forth. But he finally found us, and he then gave us a lift to the Union Station, which has been seen in Blade Runner or something like that.
Yeah.
Union Station, but it's brilliant. If you ever get the opportunity and you're in LA, go and see Union Station, because it is.
Good.
It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. The architecture in itself is what draws people there just to even take photographs. But yeah, the rail's all right. Amtrak is keeping to its word. It's always late. Yeah. Anyway.
It's comfy.
Yeah, it's comfy. It's good enough.
And the announcers are
The announcers are hilarious. They're funny guys. That's true. And girls.
But it's always
late. It is always late.
But we had a great day thanks to Chris, who looked after us.
Yeah, he took us around some really, really nice places in Orange County.
We went to San Juan Capistrano.
Yep.
The Spanish Mission.
Yep. And that was really fantastic. Take some nice photos while you're there and try and lap up all the history you can.
Yeah, it was good.
It's hard to take it all in one bite, but yeah, just get the little catalogue that comes with it and just give that a bit of a read. And it's interesting.
The Spanish missions.
Yeah.
There's about 21 of them in California, and they all follow along a road that a lot of people end up walking along.
Oh, that's right. They follow one road, don't they?
And they go all the way up to San Francisco. So, yeah. So some people do actually do that pilgrimage, I suppose.
I think I want to do that pilgrimage, Mandy, but not on this trip.
No.
Maybe another difficult trip. Next time.
So then...
We went to Laguna Beach as well.
And Newport Beach.
And Newport Beach, which is real classy. One's really classier than the other. We went up on top of a hill called the...
Top of the World.
Top of the World.
And
that was really windy and blowy yesterday, and it was cold. Showering the whole day.
Yep, and we had some dinner and lunch at some place called Lucille's, I think, which was a barbecue place.
Yeah, the barbecue place,
really
Lucille's.
Really great to have proper American food.
Yeah,
big servings and really filling.
Yeah, my burger was tasty too. Like on a brioche bun, but like...
They call it a tri-tip sandwich.
Tri-tip sandwich. What was it? Like beef that's cooked over a long period of time, sliced off.
Is it...
It was beef.
What do you call it?
And then they had
brisket? Is it brisket?
I think it was a beef brisket, yeah. So, and then they topped that up. It was about 11:30 when we ate lunch. So it was...
We were starving anyway.
We were starving. We hadn't had breakfast properly.
And dinner was at an upper-class Mexican place called...
But before we get to dinner...
Something, I can't remember. Yeah.
I want to just quickly talk about that little town that Chris took us to, and it's secluded. It's like on a little island. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of... Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Balboa Island.
Yep.
And it kind of reminded me of Deauville or Onville, like those little French coastal villages that are in the western side of France.
Yep. It was really nice houses.
It was gorgeous.
And
we all decided that if we ever made a lot of money, we'd all live there.
Yep.
Peacefully. It's beautiful, but I'll put up photos of that area because it's kind of hard to explain unless you see the pictures. But there's a funny house called the Bears, and there's all these bears inside it.
It's creepy.
And it's really weird. But Chris said that every Christmas and Halloween they decorate the bears and also the whole street. Because it's all the streets are really cute, but there's like a walkway that goes on the outside of these houses, and that's where they decorate the houses. So you probably see them from the mainland, and there's only a couple of ways in.
Yeah. And
you can also take a little car ferry, but apparently the medium house price there is like $2 million.
Yeah.
It goes up to like $4 or $5 million. So these people are retirees that have just retired on large sums of money, so good on them. I reckon that's great, but yeah, might be out of my ballpark. I don't think I'll ever be able to get there, but that was a real fun day. And as Mandy was saying, we met up with Chris and his wife, and we went out for dinner at a really high-class Mexican restaurant.
Oh, Javier's. It was cool.
Javier's. And I think good. It was Jorge that served us.
Yeah.
And he
was alright.
He was okay.
It was okay, mate. It was good. It was
good. No, I had quesadillas with
Yeah.
Fish in them. I think more Maine lobster.
Yeah.
Yes, I had double helping of Maine lobster, which was great.
Bit of a high roller.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a high roller these days. And if you're wondering what's happening now, it's day 8, I think, technically.
Day 7.
I'm going to get these dates right. So it's day 7 now, currently, as you're listening to this now. And it's drizzling outside, and it's going to be our first full day in San Diego.
Yep.
And it's a bit cruddy.
Yeah, it's a bit cruddy.
But I've already promised Mandy that we're going to watch 3 Westworlds back to back to back.
If we can.
Tonight, and then watch episode 4 tomorrow night, live. Actually, you know what I mean? Live American time.
Yeah.
So if we can, we'll do that. But I wouldn't mind getting out to Balboa Park today.
But it's crappy weather.
I know it's crappy weather, but it's better than getting stuck in a hotel.
Yeah.
And a funny thing is, our booking last night was cancelled because we had a credit card issue. We'd changed all our credit cards before we left to come overseas. And we were supposed to be staying at one of the hotels in Little Italy. Mm-hmm. And that lapsed while we were having fun with Chris yesterday. So we got a message just before our train arrives saying that our booking was cancelled. So we had to quickly look for a booking. And we found a place in the Gaslamp Quarter, which we'd never stayed in before. The Gaslamp Quarter is kind of like San Diego's downtown. And it was quite rowdy, and we arrived into San Diego, and it was pitch black. The Uber couldn't find us. The taxi guys tried to swindle us. So we walked.
So just
from
make sure
Union.
You have a connection.
Yeah,
an internet connection, because you don't want to take the taxis in this city. They're terrible.
Yeah,
and they're very shifty.
Very shifty. I was quite surprised. Felt like I was in Thailand or somewhere like that.
Bartering for
the fare. I mean, he did
terrible.
come back to us and say $15, and I said, nah, that's okay. So we ended up just walking I think it felt like half an hour. Maybe it was about half an hour, 25 minutes, but we walked through some kind of sketchy areas.
I don't think that was sketchy at all.
I thought they were sketchy a little bit. And we finally found the hotel, which was a Marriott. Thank you, Marriott. And we're here now.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. The bed is a big king size, and actually I'm lying in the bed as we talk now. Mm-hmm. And you can stop imagining me naked, because I'm not. I've just had breakfast and I got clothes on. So, ta-ta for now. I'll be in touch again. We've got New York on Monday morning. We've got to get up early Monday morning, and tomorrow we've actually got a whole day with Chris again, and we're going to do all of San Diego. Well, north of San Diego, some of the beaches that are quite well known. And I'll have this recorder with me so we can actually get Chris to explain what's going on. Would have been nice to have it set up yesterday, but I wasn't prepared. Thanks, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Wow, listening back to that sounds like I've got a bit of a cold, but from memory I didn't have a cold. I must have just been a bit stuffy, but who knows. So I hope that you enjoyed that. That was the first part of my America Adventure series, Los Angeles. It also features San Diego, which was a very fantastic, beautiful place. I've been there twice now in a year, so it is cool. We did catch up with Chris Rainey the following day, and all that audio will be coming in the next podcast, and that was pretty much a fun day. He showed us a lot of different places, and we recorded a lot of the audio inside a car, so that'll be interesting to see how that sounds when I do all the editing and so forth for that. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ta-ta, bye-bye, goodbye, and good night.